Hey folks, welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. I just bought a new grill, a PK Classic. Let's step outside and fire that thing up. So here's me and my brand new PK TX. It's looking good, isn't it? Can't wait to fire this thing up. I picked the dark gray or graphite version. I guess it's just less sensitive to stains, etc., but it doesn't matter. It's the same material, so same cast aluminum. This undercarriage or foldable stand, I picked that also because I want it to be portable, so you can fold this up and roll it away, kind of like a trolley almost. Very convenient. Also, even though I have a bunch of grills, I move them out and in as I cook on them, which means I don't actually have a specific spot where I place all my cookers. That also means I don't have a side table for any of them, which is kind of strange considering the amount of grilling and barbecue I do. But finally, here's a grill with a side table included and a beer holder. So, I mean, what could possibly go wrong with this one? Let's take a closer look at the construction before we fire it up. The first thing I really like about this, being an engineer, is the rock solid construction. I think it looks really good. The nice thing about this is it's cast aluminum. Aluminum means it's lightweight, and cast means it's just a perfect fit between the lid and the bottom half, which is really nice. Check that out. Perfect fit. You don't get that with pressed sheet metal. Also, while looking at it from underneath almost, you can see here these two shelves, if you like, or this is actually ash catchers. There's two of them, one located below each bottom vent, and we're going to take a look inside and you'll see. But basically, when the ash drops out through the bottom vent, it's going to be caught here, so it doesn't end up on your wooden patio, for example. So that's a really smart thing. Extremely simple, but very clever. I like the simplicity overall in this grill, because simple in this case is really good. At the top lid, you can see here the two top vents that just slide back and forth, and that's the way you regulate heat and air flow through it. There are two identical vents on the bottom, and we're going to take a look inside real soon. But this is good because this gives you option. I mean, you could have full airflow going through and cooking at high heat, or you can just shut one, leave the other one open, and that way you can get to cook low and slow style, which I really like. That's what we're going to do with this one. Now, looking inside, I decided to get the beefier stainless steel grill grates. I like these because they're thicker, slightly thicker bars or rods, and that means they're easier to clean. And this super convenient opening here is really handy for tending to the fire, adding wood for smoking, etc. So that's good. And you can just remove it as easily for quick access and cleaning. Down into the grill, you can see here the left bottom vent and the right bottom vent. So how am I going to use this? Well, I'm going to open that one, close this one, and do the opposite in the lid. That means the hot air and smoke is going to come up here, across the meat, and then out the other way. And that's a good way of having hot air move over the food before it exits through the top vent. If I were to open the bottom vent and the top vent on the same side, air would simply go straight up and miss the meat and the veggies you're cooking. So this is a super clever, again, simple but clever idea. So this is what we're going to utilize to the max in this one. Okay, enough talk, so we're going to fire this thing up. And I figured I might as well do a little test while doing the inaugural burn-in. So I'm going to remove the grill, and also I cut out two fireproof bricks, because I'm basically going to create a snake in here, like an L-shaped snake. I'm going to fire it up, place these in here, and we're going to see how long it burns. Here you can see the close-up of my little L-shaped snake construction. So basically I'm going to light up some briquettes in this end. It's going to burn for hours and hours all the way over here, and then we'll see how long it lasts. I'm expecting it to last a long time, because the briquettes and the snake is going to help with that, and also the construction and sturdiness of the grill is going to make sure we keep a rock steady temp. So this will be an interesting test. Fill this one up. I'm going to add a few more. I'm going to leave a hole here for the initial briquettes that I light separately. So I'm going to take 6 to 8 briquettes, light them in the chimney, drop them in here, and then we're going to have this snake the fire travel all the way over here. Slowly but surely, so I think it's time to place your bets. See how many hours we get out of this one. Then you have the indirect zone here, so this is really good for cooking. All right, let's get this started. So what I'm doing now, which I'm a big fan of, is doing a dry run. So this basically means there's no risk in ruining the food, because I can just spend time getting to know my grill before we do a real cook on it. That's really convenient and takes all the stress out of managing the fire and tweaking temps. So we'll get this started. And as I mentioned before, the vent right here is closed and the one beneath the charcoal, or briquettes in this case, is open. And then the opposite in the lid, so should be good for a low and slow setting. We'll see how many hours we can last on this one. Now, while this is coming up to temp, I'm gonna get the grill grates in place, and we're also gonna attach the old trusted thermometer here so I can check temps. So this is looking good, off to a good start. Not up to temp yet, but I'm gonna close the lid now to start to warm up the cast aluminum. Alright, so the burn-in is progressing nicely. I just tweaked the vents a bit because I want to lock this one in on 120 degrees Celsius, where it is right now. So I'm just going to leave it for quite a few hours and make sure it holds steady temp. So it'll be an interesting test. Like I said, I might as well do a burn-in and a test at the same time. But so far so good. So the PK has been chugging along nicely at 120 to 125. You see I have the top vent halfway closed, I would say, and the bottom vent over there a bit more. But let's take a quick look and see where we're at snake wise. So all right, that's looking good. You see we're just about to the corner, and this has been running for 4 hours exactly, so quite a bit of time to go before we get to this end. That's good if you're cooking pork butt or similar. So another status check. Now we've been running for a little over 6 hours, and this one is just flatlining, which is really good. I like this. I mean, what I've seen so far is just perfect. This is what you want from a low and slow cook, and I'm pretty sure the cast aluminum helps keep the temp up, especially since it started raining and everything. As for vent settings, this is why it's really good to do a dry run, because I noticed that it's super sensitive. I like sensitive because that means precision. I get to control exactly what happens. So moving this top vent just a few millimeters changes temps up and down plus or minus 5 degrees. So I really like that. I keep tweaking these two a little bit more, the top one than the bottom one, but still super easy, extremely stable in temp, which is good. So I'll just let this one run. We'll make a note of how many hours I got out of it, but so far so good. And I guess I could keep the snake going all the way the other short side too. Either way, looking good. So can't wait to cook hot and fast later in the next 1 or 2 episodes. All right, so the burn-in is done. Next time we're gonna cook something. I'm gonna do a low and slow. I'm also gonna do some hot and fast, because there's a good reason this is like the #1 steak machine when it comes to steak cook-offs. The good thing is that the grates are so close to the charcoal, so you get a short distance between the heat and the grill grates, which is good for high heat searing. So that'll be an interesting test, but thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those next episodes. See ya.